the president of the United States has been making an issue out of the Molly Tibbetts case. The Molly Tibbetts case, 20-year-old Iowan girl who was abducted and murdered by an illegal immigrant. And President Trump issued comments yesterday. A lot of folks were saying that President Trump was doing this to distract from all the Cohen stuff. The reality is that Trump would have done this in any case, right? I mean, he did this during the campaign repeatedly with Kate Steinle over in San Francisco. So this is nothing new. Here's President Trump commenting on it. It's one of the reasons why President Trump continues to retain popularity is because the contrast between Trump and the left on issues like this is pretty astonishing.
Molly Tibbetts, an incredible young woman, is now permanently separated from her family. A person came in from Mexico illegally and killed her. We need the wall. We need our immigration laws changed. The Democrats will never give them, and the wall is being built. We've started it, but we also need the funding for this year's building of the wall. So, to the family of Molly Tibbetts, all I can say is God bless you.
This is why if President Trump would just leave to his lawyers the rest of this stuff and he campaigned on this stuff, he'd actually be doing much better in the polls. And I think that he'd be doing well, especially when you contrast this with the sort of idiocy of a lot of folks on the left. Simone Sanders is a commentator over at CNN. Here's what she had to tweet on the Molly Tibbetts matter. She tweeted, Molly Tibbetts was murdered because she told a man to leave her alone while she was jogging. Her murderer happens to be undocumented. This isn't about border security. This is about toxic masculinity. Molly Tibbetts lost her life because a man couldn't take her saying no. Full stop. Well, I think it's fair to say that when a man kills a woman, that does count as toxic masculinity. I think it probably counts as just toxic evil in any case. And it turns out the vast majority of murders in the United States are committed by men. So I don't think that's totally wrong. But to say that it has nothing to do with being undocumented is silly. He shouldn't be in the country. Right? The question is how you stop that. If Simone Sanders has a good answer as to how to stop toxic masculinity, like men from killing women in general, that is better than don't let evil men into the country illegally, I'd like to hear it. But this is sort of the problem with a lot of folks on the left. They will say things like, we have a problem. The problem is toxic masculinity. And it's out there in the air somewhere. And I'm not going to actually provide a solution to that. The solution is sort of, like to regender our children. The solution is to pretend that masculinity is inherently bad, right? And then those of us say, well, the other thing we could do is just not let this piece of crap in the country. She's like, no, we got to talk about toxic masculinity. You wonder why folks are resounding to President Trump even still. That is the reason why. Okay, meanwhile, some things that I hate. Speaking of the attempt to undermine basic truths, there's this video that I've now been made aware of. It's a video that is promoted at, of all places, the Huffington Post, because this is the repository for all stupidity in the United States. It's a video of a trans man, which is to say a woman who believes that she is a man. Her name is Cass Bliss, and she detailed at Huffington Post what it's like to get your period when you're not a woman, which as a man I would say is pretty weird because you need a uterus, which makes you a woman. Bliss is a non-binary trans educator, and she first went viral with her Bleeding Well Trans campaign in 2017 to prove the biologically impossible claim that men have periods too. She recently created a music video discussing the struggles of having your period while not identifying as a woman in a quest for menstrual equity. So here's the song cut by a woman who believes she is a man who says that men have periods. And yes, it's weird. And yes, if this is your solution to toxic masculinity, I'm not going to take you seriously.
When I find my cycle is a struggle and Bloody Mary comes to me.
Oh, no.
Streaming womb of wisdom, let me bleed. Though I'm not a woman, she is spilling right outside of
You are,
me.
though.
My boyish womb of wisdom, let me bleed. Let me bleed, let me bleed, let me bleed, let me bleed.
Okay, so I'm not a big...
Our
Our gendered wombs of wisdom, let us bleed. So first of all, not a huge Beatles fan in general, but if you're going to destroy the Beatles this way, I feel bad for the Beatles now. And this person is saying that we can't have tampons anymore because tampons are gendered. When you go to the store, they're like pink and stuff. Instead, what they should be is they should be like a manly blue tampons. Very important. And we should have tampons in the men's bathroom also, which would be weird since men don't have uteruses.